thyroid gland, it is an endocrine gland that is almost reddish brown in color, and it is positioned in the anterior part of the neck in relation to the C5, C6, C7 and T1 vertebra. As we discuss all the viscera and things related to the bony point, so the bony level is cervical C5, 6, 7 and thoracic 1 vertebra, and anteriorly it is related to the rings of trachea. Trachea is the respiratory passage or tube that is connected with the larynx, so it is related to the trachea. Now the characteristic feature of the thyroid is there are highly increased blood supply in this gland like adrenal and kidney, and it can manufacture, store and release hormone at the same time. And thirdly, it depends on the external environment for its iodine or raw material supply. So how the thyroid looks? It looks like H-shaped gland. It is H-shaped, having 2 lateral lobes and 1 midline structure that is called isthmus. Now the lateral lobes are there. It is pyramidal shaped, having 1 apex above and base below. This apex or above structure, it is directed forward, upward and laterally towards the thyroid cartilage lamina. Now this apex is related to the superior thyroid artery. It is coming from above, that is the external carotid artery, branch of external carotid artery. It is called apex, and this apex is also related to the external laryngeal nerve. So superior thyroid artery and external laryngeal nerve, they are coming to the gland, and whenever they are coming intimately, but whenever they are coming closer to the gland, they are diverging from each other. So we put ligature on the superior thyroid artery closer to the gland to avoid the external laryngeal nerve injury. Now come to the base. The base is situated below, and the base is also related to 1 artery and 1 nerve. The artery is the inferior thyroid artery and the nerve is recurrent laryngeal nerve. They are coming separately to the base, and nearer to the gland they are coming closer to each other. So we put ligature in the inferior thyroid artery distal to the gland in case of base. So this is apex and this is base. After that we come to the coverings of the gland. The whole gland is covered with true capsule and false capsule. True capsule, as the other glands, there is fibrous condensation of the stroma of the gland, and false capsule, that is the pretracheal fascia that is enclosing the thing. This is a false capsule, and this false capsule also form a ligament called ligament of Berry. This ligament of Berry is connecting this medial surface of the gland with the midline cricoid cartilage. So when cricoid cartilage moves with deglutition, then the gland is also moving along with the cricoid cartilage, ups and down with deglutition. Now after that, the things are there. The true capsule, within the true capsule there is venous plexus. That is the difference with the prostate gland. In case of prostate gland, there is the venous plexus outside the true capsule, so we enucleate the gland, leaving the capsule behind in the body in case of prostatectomy. In case of thyroidectomy, we do the opposite thing, because the gland stroma and the true capsule, inside within the gland stroma and the true capsule there is venous plexus. So we have to enucleate or cut with the true capsule in case of thyroidectomy. That is the basic difference. Now again come to this anatomical structure. That is a lateral lobe having apex and base, having 1 anterolateral surface, that is superficial surface, 1 medial surface towards the midline, 1 posterolateral surface. So it is having anterolateral surface and medial surface separated by 1 border, that is called anterior border. Again, posterolateral surface is separated from the medial surface or midline structure surface by posterior border. Now, so the lateral lobe having anterolateral or superficial surface, medial or deep surface, 1 posterolateral surface, 1 anterior border, 1 posterior border. Now this anterior border again related to the anterior branch of the superior thyroid artery. Superior thyroid artery, branch of external carotid, that is coming from above, and nearer to the gland it is dividing into anterior posterior branch. The anterior branch is going along with the anterior border. After that it is coming to the upper border of the isthmus, forming anastomosis with opposite side superior thyroid artery. And posterior branch, it is going along with the posterior border, forming an anastomosis with the inferior thyroid artery at the posterior border. So the posterior thyroid artery is related to the posterior branch of the superior thyroid and the inferior thyroid artery. Anterior border is related to the anterior descending branch of the superior thyroid artery. Now, what are the other structures related to this gland? The anterolateral surface is related to the muscles in the neck anteriorly. What are they? The sternothyroid from within outward. Sternothyroid, just superficial to that, in a same level, in the level sternohyoid and superior belly of the omohyoid. After that, the large muscle, that is the sternocleidomastoid or sternomastoid. So the anterolateral surface having relation with within outward sternothyroid, sternohyoid and omohyoid, and sternomastoid. Posterolateral surface is related to the carotid sheath and its contents. Actually, it overlaps the external carotid artery. And medial surface, it is related to two muscles, that is inferior constrictor and the cricothyroid. Two tubes, that is larynx and trachea in front, pharynx and esophagus behind. Two nerves, that is external laryngeal nerve and recurrent laryngeal nerve. These are the relations in the medial surface. Now come to the isthmus. This is isthmus. This is bridge. It is not always present. And this bridge having upper border. At the upper border, it is related to the anterior branch of the superior thyroid artery having anastomosis, and one lower border, inferior thyroid veins, arteria thyroidea ema, they are related to the inferior border. Now come to the arterial supply. The superior thyroid artery is coming from external carotid artery having branches. Inferior thyroid artery coming from thyrocervical trunk, it is coming from behind and it is coming at the posterior border. And the arteria thyroidea ema, it may be from brachiocephalic trunk or from arch aorta. It is occasionally present. Whenever it is present, it is giving supply to the lower lobe of the thyroid gland here. Now come to the veins. What are the veins? The superior thyroid vein, middle thyroid vein, and sometimes the fourth thyroid vein, that is Cocker's vein. Whenever it is present, these veins are draining into internal jugular vein. And the inferior thyroid vein, it is numerous in number, numerous inferior thyroid veins, they are draining into brachiocephalic trunk. So this is in nutshell the arterial supply and venous drainage of the thyroid gland. And there is applied anatomy is also there. The goiter, what is goiter? That is any enlargement of the thyroid gland is goiter. It can extend below and posteriorly because the apex of the thyroid gland is sandwiched between the cricothyroid muscle medially and sternothyroid muscle laterally. So thyroid enlargement can't extend above. And the parathyroid glands, they are related to the posterior border. At the posterior border, at the level of the cricoid cartilage, superior pair of parathyroid glands are there and inferior parathyroid glands are also there in the posterior border. So the posterior border is related to the artery and the parathyroid glands also.